Hello, everybody. This is Purge doing a replay coaching. This was submitted by Eminence Burr on my purgegamers.true.io website in the forums and the replay coaching section. I don't do these very often, but if you guys want the chance of getting one for free, then this you can shoot in the dark. Submit every once in a while if you guys get good games, because the replays do expire, so occasional submissions are good. You wrote, "Hello Purge, I recently played a PL game where I felt like I played a pretty clean game overall, but the game was still really hard, and I felt almost helpless at some points in the game. We did end up winning in the end, but I felt like it was much harder than it needed to be, although I still can't point out why, so I was hoping you could help me with that." This is a 3600 MMR game, so this should be a pretty good example of, I feel like 3 to 4K players are players that understand Dota fairly okay. They're pretty up to date on most item builds, skill builds, things like that. They understand what's at stake in terms of last hitting, things like that, but they aren't quite executing their advantages as hard as they could. I think that's the main thing. That story becomes even more of an example for the 4 to 5K mark, because that comes more of a ultra refinement, whereas the 3 to 4K mark is people that are like close to figuring out the game but aren't quite there yet. So that's my estimation about what's probably going to happen. But the guy we're going to be watching is this guy here, Eminence, just like his tag on the forums. So we'll speed on through here. First things first, he's against a Spectre, which is arguably okay for PL. I would say PL's alright against Spec, at least in straight up team fights. In terms of Spec's ability to gain advantage by ganking, PL should get behind. Against Lifestealer, Spec is also, or PL is also quite good, because Lifestealer is going to be forced into either a Battle Fairy or a Mjolnir build, both of which you can counter. And then you also have to deal with a Warlock, Witch, and an Invoker. So these three heroes really don't have any AoE, which means that PL is pretty good this game. I actually do like the PL pick. The Earthshaker kind of screwed you over quite a bit, that's for sure, since Earthshaker is very good against illusion-based heroes, but I don't really see... I think it was a fine pick. I think PL is a good pick this game. Not amazing versus Invoker either, but it can be okay. With that said, I feel like if Invoker does a Yule's Sunstrike combo with Deafening Blast now, that you can get out of it with Doppelgang. So now that Deafening Blast doesn't hard stun you, it just does a pushback that still allows you to cast. So you can probably always Doppelganger to get out. Starting items are fine. If you're going for a Ring of Basilius and into an Ocula, I think this build's fine. And it looks like that is what you're building. I don't think there's anything ultra wrong with this. The only downside to not getting things like Clarity Potions or a Mango is that it could cost you getting a kill later with Spirit Lance in lane, where you might run out of mana. A Basilius gives you a lot of mana, but it doesn't give you tons of mana. Looking for heroes, I think this is all good and stuff.
The battle begins.
The rune goes to your mid, which is great and all. You are off to block. You got a Spirit Lance, which is fine. Messed up your block, slightly bad, but not a huge deal. Now I saw that your small camps block, so that may be your first problem this game here, is that you're going to have to deal with your camping slightly blocked. But luckily the creep wave is pushing in your advantage, so that should be good. The offlane you're against is an Earthshaker. You can very certainly deal with. At the very least, your support should be able to zone. At the very least, your last hitting looks fine. I'm probably going to speed up various parts of this. Like now, for example, I think you're doing a great job on lane control. This is all really important if you're playing carry, so you've got that down. The Ogre has slightly pushed the wave by aggroing that, but it looks like it's going to be completely fine. And he also fissured, so this wave pushes. I would kill this range creep, personally. I feel like you should move your camera a little bit more. I don't know if this is just a bug. Okay, it is. It isn't. For example, in between last hits, yeah, this is good. Like, you're looking to see what's going on in between last hits. That's great as well. I think you're doing fine in the carry role right now. Got 4 last hits. The only thing, again, that I would have done differently is I would have last hitted that. I would have started auto-attacking. As soon as he fissured the creeps, he was pushing your wave, basically. And as soon as that started happening, you needed to counteract that a bit. Because now if you don't tank the creep wave and let the creeps continue to meet in this area, you're now last hitting under tower. And I'm going to guess that you're going to miss a lot of these. Whereas you got every single last hit when you're over here. That's the first problem. As soon as that, we'll go back a little bit and I'll show you. Because this is really just creep equilibrium, but... I have to press play to do this, and then go free camera. Okay, so at this point, if you look at the creep wave, and again, this might seem small, but this is really important in terms of how carries play the lane, because creep equilibrium is the most important thing that a carry can do in the early game, assuming that you're getting an offlaner that is zoned, for example. And this guy's obviously very zoned. What he should have done, as soon as these creeps met, I'm actually going to go 10 more seconds back. actually right here. Alright, so let's talk about how this creep wave is going. So, this creep is taking damage, the new creep wave is coming, their new creep wave is coming. If either of these range creeps don't, let's assume these two range creeps are both dead, that means that the wave is equal, because there's equal amounts of melee and range creeps. But what's going to happen is this one's going to die first, because the melee creeps will get to this range first, before these get in front to tank it. So this creep's going to die first, which leaves you with more range creeps, and range creeps do a massive amount of damage to push the wave, because I think they do something like 2 times damage to a creep, whereas a normal attack does either regular or reduced damage versus melee. I can't remember exactly what they do. But keep in mind that a range creep does way more damage to a creep wave than a melee creep does, and it easily offsets the HP difference in my opinion. I'm pretty sure it does. It's not an opinion. I'm trying to state a fact that I'm not entirely sure about. So what you needed to do, as soon as these creep waves met and this creep died, I would have immediately walked over to this range creep and killed it. But because you didn't do that, like right now, there's nothing to do, right? You don't get a last hit for a while. None of these creeps are close to dying. I would have hit this 3 times. Hit this 3 times, kill it, and then the creep wave would have been more equal. Instead, all you did is wait around for last hits. And what this did is you basically did the reverse. You're probably scared to push the lane, but you're doing the reverse. You were like so scared to touch the creeps ever that you felt like it was never a good choice to push. But this was a good time. You should have killed this range creep. Then these creeps would have died a little faster. And then even if you didn't do all that stuff to prep, I understand you were going to harass potentially, but you at the very least should have ran these creeps in a circle, in my opinion, until this creep wave comes. Because now I bet you're going to miss this creep, and you might miss this creep, and boom, already you lost 2 last hits that you should have gotten, and the only thing you needed to do to guarantee them would be to hold the creep wave here until the next one comes up, and then you just crazily auto-attack. You auto-attack the whole time to try to equalize these 2 waves. Because you auto-attacking 1 creep wave versus 1 creep wave plus 3 range creep, plus 2 extra range creeps, that would have equalized it. But you didn't do that, and you lost 2 last hits because of that. So in a game like this, where you actually do have supports doing their job in zoning the offlaner, you have to make sure that you keep the creep equilibrium under tower until you at least get a Quelling Blade. Because if you don't have a Quelling Blade, last hitting under tower is very difficult. It's honestly very difficult. See, because it seems like you're fine at last hitting, and now you're pushing the wave, which is good. Okay, that's perfect. You're doing things fine here. I think you kind of realize the error of your ways. You maybe overpushed a little bit now. In fact, you did. Because what happened was you tanked these 2 range creeps the whole time. And what you should have done is let these hit this range creep. So now you overpushed. And now you've got 2 range creeps on your side, and now your wave is going to push. So you have to balance this delicately. And here's the same thing, you accidentally aggroed 2 range creep hits, which is also going to affect things. What you should be doing right now is you should be why is this acting so weird? You should be spam denying your creeps as soon as they're below 50, is what you should be doing. Instead, you're sitting around waiting for last hits. So you have to balance this out a little bit better. Your last hitting seems great. Like, you've only missed a couple last hits. But if you kept your creep equilibrium, then Earthshaker's obviously not here. But if you kept your creep equilibrium, it would give you a really big advantage in terms of last hitting. Looks like you're going to miss that one as well. So creep wave is pushing. If the Earthshaker was smart, he would come back, because he should realize that he's about to get last hits. Or about to get experience, but he won't. So ultimately, this isn't going to matter very much. The one thing that will matter is you are going to lose some experience here, I think. Some of these creeps are possibly going to die. Looks like they didn't, but it was kind of close. You almost missed some last hits. Either way, the creep equilibrium is in a place now where Earthshaker's going to be able to guarantee to get experience. You could have like an extra 5 last hits, and you could be farming right here. And boom, again the wave gets pushed, and now Earthshaker's going to be able to guarantee experience. Where otherwise he would have been sitting behind mid, like hoping to fissure for something, which probably wouldn't have accomplished a huge amount. So your last hits are decent, but they could definitely be better, and the creep wave could be in a better location. You turned off your Basilius, which is great. You got a Quelling Blade and a Boots. I think you're doing a lot of the right things, but your last hits could be better. So while your last hitting is good, your creep equilibrium balance was not good, and that was the thing you were really missing. And it's not ultra important, but it has huge effects on the game. Like, what the carry does affects the game. Yeah, he's got more last hits than the enemy carry, but he could have an extra 4 last hits right now. And this Earthshaker could still be level 1 instead of almost level 3. Because you pushed the lane, this Earthshaker is only about a level behind you now, despite what your supports did to zone him. So it's not just that you're missing 4 last hits, it's that you also gave Earthshaker 2 levels. And this is on you. 100% on you. These creeps being here and Earthshaker getting these levels is 100% on you. And I guarantee that affects the game as a whole. 100% affects the game. It is not just the support's responsibility to zone the offlaner. It's both. The carry has to not push the lane, and always has to keep creep equilibrium, and the supports have to zone the Earthshaker or zone the offlaner until he leaves, ideally. This guy left really early, but by pushing the lane, you messed it up. You can push the lane later, but you should probably only do it in a position where you can probably solo kill that guy. And it's a lot easier to do that if he's still under leveled. So he's going to get level 3 now, and he's going to very rapidly catch up to you. You're going to be about level 5, but you're about a level and a half ahead of him. And because you didn't have any extra regen, now you're just sitting on a ring of Bacilli, so you're not actually going to be able to zone him with just spams. Maybe some other heroes would, but you're not going to be able to with PL. But your last hitting's fine, and that's good, but it could be 4 or 5 last hits or higher. That's kind of a cool fissure that he did there. Stopped you from getting a last hit. Okay. So, everything is going good over here. I think you're going to miss one of these. I think I would have gone for the one in the middle. There was a small chance that you got the other one instead. Okay, this is good. Actually, I'm in this situation where it's just you and the Earthshaker, I maybe would have bought an Orb of Venom. Just because if he's the only one here with you, you can actually very easily get a movement speed advantage over him, since you have boots and he doesn't. So you could lower his movement speed down to like 270, and you'd have like 335. So you could just chase him. You could do damage that way. It wouldn't require to use mana as much. And to be honest, even an Orb of Venom, even though your item slots are going to fill up pretty fast, I don't think it's a terrible item to pick up on PL, just because you will be hitting heroes throughout the course of the game. And a lot of them are a little bit low to, or a little bit weak to slow, like Lifestealer, for example. If he's enraged, but you have an Orb of Venom, you can still slow him. Because slows like that and Scotty go through BKB. So, again, creep wave pushes, Earthshaker is basically just getting free farm now. He's still going to hit 6 at a pretty fast rate, despite the supports zoning him initially. Obviously, they're just roaming now, but I think what Potom is accomplishing is decent, and Ogre Magi helping Bristle, I'm sure, is going to help a bit. So it's kind of up to you that Earthshaker got this many levels. I mean, yeah, if your creep wave is here and he showed back and he was by himself, he still wouldn't have gotten very much. But I think he would have been forced to come over later, and when he did, you might have been level 5 versus his 1 or 2, rather than you being 4 versus his level almost 2. It was more like 3, almost 4. What are you bringing out, a Wraithband or something? Yeah, Wraithband coming. So last hits are still good. You got your Aqualan out, you turn it off right away, which is all great. Another thing that you can do instead is you can also push a wave. So for example, rather than keeping the lane... Oops, I meant to pause, not do that. Instead of keeping your lane static, for example, like you're doing, what you can do instead is you can push and then pull. And by doing that, it helps deny some of the creeps. So the timer that you want to do, that I've seen a lot of pros do recently, is it's not at this pull, it would be the next one. Because by the time the creeps get here, it's going to be like 45 seconds or something like that. So when you do this pull and you cut this tree here, when you do this pull up, it'll stack them at the same time, and then you'll have 2 large camps, which should clear the wave. So one way to beat them is, for example, keep the wave static. Let's look at your missed opportunity, basically. All right, so right here. So look where the creep wave is. Your wave is pushing. You're about to kill this creep wave. It's about to push down here, or Shaker's going to get the experience. What you could do instead is kill this wave a little bit faster. And by the way, you could still do this right now. You definitely can make it in time. Kill this creep. Walk over here. Eat this tree. Pull this camp up here, and by doing that, this creep wave will get aggroed to these Ursas, or Hellbears, and then this will obviously stack, because these will be out here in like 3 seconds. And by doing that, this whole creep wave will get denied. That's 4 creeps that you have instantly denied from the Earthshaker, and this creep wave will then push. Well, first it'll kill these, but they'll do that under tower probably, or about here. So that'll do that under tower, so these will not kill any of these creeps. And then as soon as this wave is dead, they will run up here, and you can just start last hitting them up here under tower if you want, or you can just hold the creep wave and attack it, because you're 6 anyway, so you can kill creep waves pretty rapidly. And then Earthshaker would have to shift over here as a melee hero in the darkness, and try to get last hits against the 4 stack, basically a 2 stack camp, which kill creeps very rapidly. Hellbears are very good at killing creeps. If you get a Dark Troll spawn, it kills him instantly, kind of a thing. He's not going to be able to deal with that very well, especially as an Earthshaker. He's not a ranged hero. He has to worry about taking damage, all this other crap. And honestly, just that alone is going to win you more advantage in your lane. It gives you just as much farm, because you're still going to get these lane creeps. You might also be able to kill this creep wave that pushes past, and then shift over here to get these as well. You might be able to get both of them. And you're also going to be denying experience and last hits from Earthshaker. But all you did basically was static the lane. And a lot of carries need to do this to maximize their farm. So instead, what you did is you stood here and you waited around. Instead, you could have shifted over. You could have pulled the camp while stacking it. This creep camp would be dead, and you would still be getting the last hits on the wave. So yeah, you're getting more last hits than Spectre, but you're also guaranteeing what Earthshaker is getting. And I bet you thought like that I wasn't going to focus on anything like this, because you probably thought that what you did was fine. You last hit well, you last hit better than your opponent carry, you're actually 10 last hits above him. And you're totally right about that, but keep in mind he was against a dual lane, and you kind of have a free farm lane. But regardless of that fact, you probably think that you did fine. And that's kind of how most people think at lower MMRs. They feel like, oh, I did my role fine. I didn't do anything wrong. But the reality is that you can always do more with your hero to put effect on the map. Just because you outlast hit your opponents doesn't mean that you couldn't gank occasionally, or TP to a gank, or TP to a team fight. Things like that. There's always lots of ways to affect the game, basically. Also, with this Mirana TPing the lane, by the way, he's probably saying like, I want to get a gank off on the top lane. Imagine if this creep wave wasn't here right now. This creep wave is here. It's been about a minute, of course. Let's look about the implications of this before I make this statement. But alright, so this is the creep wave that would have died over here, right? That means this creep wave would be here. You'd be last hitting it. If you static this, for example, and just killed it by itself, and your creep wave here got denied to this, that would mean that, imagine all the creeps that are in your lane are basically dead right now. All these creeps would be dead, and if you look on the map, this creep wave and this creep wave here are going to meet in the normal place where creep waves always meet, which is going to be about here. I think the creeps might move a little slower the first time, I think, but I might be wrong on that. They might change over the game, but if you look on the map, these two things are going to meet somewhere around here. Which means that if this creep wave meets and then becomes static, that means that when this bottom ganks, Earthshaker is not going to be standing here. When Earthshaker is standing here, anywhere behind this line, he's 100% not going to die. But because this creep wave is where it is right now, even ganking the Earthshaker is harder. He's getting levels, he's getting last hits, he's getting lots of experience, way more than he should be getting. And this is going to impact how effective he is against you in the mid game, and it's going to affect how effective he is against your allies in the mid to late game. And this is literally all because you didn't push the wave and then do a side pull to stack it. You can pull while also last hitting as a carry, but to do it you have to push the waves. Is it? You just have to plan ahead a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to pull the next one, so I have to clear this creep wave, push it into their tower, he's going to get that wave, but then the wave after is going to get denied, and my creep equilibrium is going to be reset in a really good place for my team in terms of ganking. So this is something that all carries can do to affect whether or not the offlaner is going to be able to get experience. It is not just the support's responsibility to pull. Let's assume that Potom and Ogre did amazing things on the map. It looks like they did a little bit of stuff, but not much. They're obviously not doing great. Potom's only level 2. She's kind of sucking. But the reality is that you have it within your power to affect the game more. And you're missing that opportunity. And I guarantee that if you would have done that, the Earthshaker would have at least one less level than he currently has. And again, just keeping him away from his tower means that you have a better chance to kill him. If you have boots advantage over him, you have a better chance to chase him down. It's that simple. Like right there, you maybe could have honestly gone for a kill. I actually would go for this. Alright, you really should have gone for that, I think. There's one missed kill opportunity right here. Okay, he's at half HP, and he used Soul Ring. You use a nuke. You've got more than enough for both Spirit Lance and Doppelganger. He missed his Fissure, by the way. It didn't hit you. Doesn't allow him to run at you. You don't have Phantom Rush yet, obviously, but if you did, it would be super easy. But what you should have done was instantly killed him there, 100%. I would have dived the tower and killed him. Doesn't have Fissure. He's not level 6, which means at most he's got an Aftershock stun and a little enchant totem damage. So he misses stun. You buy Robe of the Magi, you come in for the nuke, he used Soul Ring, and instantly he's down to, you just did 150 damage. If you actually just walk in and Spirit Lance him one more time, he dies. So you just have to tank tower for 5 seconds until he's dead. Right now, I would run in, chase him down, Doppelgang under tower, and then Spirit Lance when it's up. 100% he dies. The only way he doesn't die here is if he jukes into trees and you get caught up over here and TP support comes in. But if he does start juking, all you have to do is Doppelgang into the trees to kill them, and then you see him and you kill him. 100% that was a kill, and you didn't get it. You could have 11 more last hits than your enemy Spectre right now, and you'd also have a kill. Which would put you closer to level 8. Earthshaker would be dead, and he wouldn't have been able to, I don't know, afford a TP or something. Like, that would have had a huge impact on the game, but you didn't take that opportunity. And that's what a lot of carries miss. They miss opportunities where they should be getting kills. And if you miss those as a carry, you're completely changing whether or not you get gold advantage. It doesn't matter that you're playing a carry and he's playing a support offlane. It's all about getting as much advantage as you can, and you have to see those opportunities. And I guarantee that at this MMR, bet you nobody even had a frickin' TP. No TP. Not even 6 yet. No TP. 1 TP. Maximum 1 hero, assuming that these are the same items that they had when you could have dived, had an item, had a TP available. In fact, let's go back to that exact moment. This is a ways back, so we're going to accelerate super after it comes. Okay, that was that it?
Haste.
No, I think it was right. It was right here. Was it? Yeah, it was. And then he did his fissure. Okay, right here. Boom, dive tower. Let's see if they have TPs. This guy's got a TP, but he's got about half mana. So he could TP and maybe mess your life up, but that's about it. Lifestealer certainly can't TP. Spectre definitely can't TP, and Warlock also can't TP. Easiest kill ever. The only hero that could mess with you here is Invoker. And him killing you, maybe it would happen, but probably not. So we're going to speed things up just a little bit to get back to where we were. You just, like, that's a huge component of raising your MMR, is understanding when you can get a kill, and your opponent's not understanding that they're out of position. So lower level players are more likely to make mistakes, basically. If they make those mistakes, then you have to punish on them. He made a mistake, but you didn't punish it. So I guarantee, like, you're great at last sitting. Honestly, for your MMR, I think you are really good at last sitting. But the next thing you need to work on is understanding, well, first of all, doing the pulling thing, but also understanding when you have an advantage. And I wouldn't be surprised if that keeps happening later on this game. Like, you've got great last hits. Like, you have really good last hits. Especially for 3600 MMR, but you have to understand the small nuances. Alright, so let's see where we're at right now. First things first, you immediately walk straight up to the tower and started hitting it. Instead, what you should probably do is let a creep go first, which you did, and then you have to walk past the tower a little bit to see where the Earthshaker is. You charged up to it. What I would have probably done, and you kind of did it here, what would be the most ideal? I don't know if I would have done this because it's easier to say it by watching replay, but I don't know if I would have thought of it instantly. You wait until this creep goes under the tower last hitting range, which is right here, and then I would charge the tower, which you did about there, and then I would instantly use that charge to run past the tower and look to see if I could find the Earthshaker. You knew this guy to Soul Ring. He keeps fissuring from long distance, which means he's probably low, which means you should be looking for these kind of kills. Like, you basically just instantly left. And you can play around a little bit. You can walk past the tower a little. You can look for kills, maybe. It's not ultra dangerous to do. But if you come within vision range of him, or Spirit Lance range, he just dies. You Spirit Lance him, you walk closer. When he was about to fissure, you doppelgang. It's that easy. And then you dodge his fissure, and he dies 100%. He doesn't get away at that point, unless there's a TP. So the best thing about Spirit Lance is the low cooldown. The slow's decent, quite good, but the Spirit Lance cooldown is the big thing. So all you have to do is chase him and cast multiple lances on him until he dies. It's that simple. Bottom's in position to split push. You don't have your Aqualon. At this point, it might be okay. Do that. Look, this guy's now level 6. Like, it makes such a big difference. He can potentially get a kill with this. Alright, but with Earthshaker showing bottom, I don't know if you saw the fissure because he was smoked, so you maybe didn't know he was there. But this would be a good time to turn on your Aquila and push. And again, you're getting kind of scared. I think you're leaving just a little bit too early here. The faster you kill the creeps, the faster you can take the tower, and you're not killing them fast enough, I think. Like, you could be pressuring a little bit more. You've always got Doppelganger. You can get out of shit. And your Aquila should be on. If there's nobody here, you turn your Aquila on and you push. Every time. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this kill or not. He doesn't. Looks like you're waiting for... You get a TP scroll, which is good. Again, Aquila on, push hard. You are pushing, that's good. But you got to turn the Aquila on for the armor. Makes a big difference. I would also consider just doppelganging the creep wave just to kill it even faster. Because there's nobody here and you should be taking this tower. But you haven't done damage to this tower in like 2 or 3 waves. If there's nobody here, you push. It's that simple. And with a Basilius and a hero that can do a lot of physical damage, then you should be pushing as fast as possible. Now, your drum pickup I think is fine. This is an item build that is like so far you're playing completely standard in terms of item build, skill build, completely standard. That's great. Aquila as well as drum, I think is okay. The Aquila gives you like 15 damage, so it's really good. Plus it gives you a lot of agility, which is good for your illusions. And Drum of Endurance is just int, movement speed, all that good stuff. If you go Boots of Travel after this, then I would say your build is a-okay perfect. If you go Treads afterwards, then I think you made a mistake, in which case I would have gone Aquila Treads and maybe skip Drum. But if you're going BOTs, then I think your build's great. But again, Ring of Aquila should be on. You're finally hitting the tower, but I think you could have pressured it a lot harder earlier. And again, the same thing happens. Creep wave comes and you run away. Creeps are not scary, man. Creeps are an opportunity for you to kill them. If you have creeps under your tower, You damn well better be hitting creeps. You should be leaving this creep wave when the last creep is about to die. Like, you should be just out of the tower's range when the last creep's about to die. The only reason that you should be scared about being here when the creep wave is here is if there's also heroes in the area. Because if there's heroes, they can kill the creep wave and then the tower's instantly hitting you. For example, if it's like a Lena or something and she dragon slaves the whole wave and all of a sudden you're the only one left over, that's dangerous. But if there's nobody here, you kill this creep wave. 100%. Look at this. You had 5 creeps. You're hitting tower. Another thing that you can be doing is running past the tower to anticipate where the creep wave. It's a little dangerous to do this, but again, look around the map. Invoker's been dead for 10 seconds, so there's a chance he could TP top to do this. Earthshaker's mid, you can see him. He doesn't have a teleport scroll. Spectre's down on bottom. He does have a TP, but he did use Haunt 60 seconds ago, so you should know that this isn't up. And again, Lifestealer's playing shitty AFK jungle and buying a Midas. He hasn't done shit. So there's not a lot of things that can punish you right now. What you could have done instead, creep wave coming up, you doppelgang past the creep wave, you don't let them aggro your creeps. Keep in mind your Aquila should be on, so you give 2 armor to all of your creeps. You clear this creep wave as fast as possible. There's a catapult, so you're not going to do it insanely fast, but you should be blowing this shit up. You should doppelgang into it, possibly, so that you can do more damage. Or you can just charge forward and start attacking it, and the spawn illusions juxtapose. You can do that as well. But you should instantly be running to this creep wave to kill it. Instead, these creeps aggroed, which means that they're now doing damage to creeps instead of to the tower. But if you just go over here and you stand like right here and you cut the creeps, you just kind of kill them. And then if they TP, they have to run after you, and you can probably get away with a drum and a TP and doppelganger. There's probably not a chance of you dying here. Like, this tower easily could have been dead like 4 minutes earlier. Something like, maybe not 4 minutes, but like at least 2 minutes. 3, 4 creep waves earlier, easily. Like, you're going to kill this and all, and they're not going to show up because they're terrible players, but that should have died so much earlier. And if that tower dies, it gives everybody on the map 200 gold. It gives you 400 gold. Like, you could have, I don't know, maybe an extra 300 gold here based on last hitting alone. But the important thing is your supports. That gives your Ogre Magi closer to an Arcane Boots. It gets your Mirana closer to something. It gets Bristle back his Vanguard. So he's almost got it. Maybe he could have gotten Vanguard early. Maybe he could have gotten a kill that he wouldn't have been able to earlier if he took the tower faster. Stuff like that. It all makes a really big difference. And the speed at which you did your pushing was not good. Alright. Next creep wave comes up, you're going to push this as well, which is fine. Now, one thing you can usually do at this stage, the only downside to taking your tower really fast as a carry, is it means that you don't have as safe of a place to farm. But because you're PL, I don't think this is a big deal, really. You can basically permanently jungle due to Doppelganger as well as Spirit Lance. You're going to get clapped here, which is... okay, good, you dodged. Yeah, you're doing fine, man. This is great. You know how to jungle, you're making sure that your illusions aggro instead of you, and now you can just like power through the jungle really fast if you really want to. But usually what happens, you could also potentially pressure this tier 2 tower. I don't think it's that scary to do that. But the only downside to you taking the tower early is now it gives somebody a place to farm. In a creep wave where normally they just wouldn't have that ability. But if I were you, what I'd do is I would prioritize getting your boots of travel as fast as possible, and then I would start moving around lanes pressuring. Because right now, if you look at Spectre, and I don't know if you're looking on the map at all, but Spectre should be pressured like crazy. This guy didn't even buy fucking boots. Like, he's clearly trying to rush Radiance. You could just go to his wave with boots of travel, and you could pressure the shit out of him. Maybe you need like a clarity potion or two, because most of your pressure is going to come from Spirit Lance, but I guarantee that if you plus one other hero smoke gank, you can kill Spectre, 100%. If it's like Ogre Magi or something like that, you plus Ogre Magi, that's a dead Spectre, 100%. You initiate with a Ignite, Lance, Doppelganger, he's going to maybe Haunt. If he Haunts, he wastes Haunt. Either way, he has to leave lane and he can't go. So I don't know how long you're going to stand in jungle here, but if you stay in jungle for a long time, then it's a problem. The only reason I think you should definitely get BOTs first is because if you're being aggressive in a lane, an extra 50 movement speed can make a huge difference. Like, an actually huge difference. So you're playing pretty well here, but there's a lot of little things that you could be doing slightly better. Again, you should have one more kill, at least, due to the Earthshaker, and you should have denied the Earthshaker a lot more. He's about halfway to a Blink Dagger, by the way, at 13 minutes. That's ultra fast for us. Well, it's not ultra fast, but it's pretty fast for an offlaner. So, great. You did get Boots of Travel. Your build is completely solid. A little bit of a fight bottom. Spectre gets to use his Haunt offensively rather than using it in a defensive way because he didn't get ganked. So, maybe if you got your BOTs a little bit faster, this could have been better. And now, this is going to be the most crucial thing of your whole game. What lane you decide to go to farm, and it looks like you're running top, and I don't agree with this. I think the lane you 100% should have gone to is the bot lane, and the reason for that is this. You're looking at this creep wave and you're saying, oh, there's nobody here, I should collect these resources, and you're kind of right, but with your Boots of Travel on cooldown, I think what the better thing to do would be to go down here and jungle. You can jungle this camp, this camp, this camp, And then if you guys feel like diving, you can just walk right over and you can dive. You can kind of do the same thing by Boots of Traveling. The only thing that counters what I just said, I think, is that you could go to this lane and just TP in 45 seconds. And that's possible, but I think walking to a gank is a lot more effective than TPing. For example, if a fight happened on Bristle right now, you TP here. But if you're in the area, you could walk behind the tower and dive instantly. Like TPing here and then diving takes like an extra 5 seconds and could allow them to get out of position, basically. So right now, I have a feeling you're not going to put enough pressure on the map. Your build is great. I really like your build. You're last hitting extremely well at your MMR bracket, but you're not pushing your ability to last hit well into an advantage like you should be able to. Like these are great items. No hero can even come close to combating you this early game. Like look at all these items. How can anybody match up against Drum of Endurance and a Boots of Travel at this stage? If you pop Drum, you're gonna be running at like 500 movement speed or something like that. Like your net worth is surely higher than everybody else's. It's by quite a bit. Like yeah, Lifestealer's close to you, but everybody else is like they have like half as much farm as you do. So and now you're building Diffusal Blade, which is great. You pushed out the lane a little bit, but you're not pushing it farther. Again, you're not pushing your advantage. You could be pushing this lane, force somebody to teleport. Instead, you're going to the jungle to get farm. And yeah, that's getting you farm, but it's not also limiting what your opponents are getting. If you came to this lane and you pushed it, and you get ganked, you've got a Drum and a Boots of Travel and Doppelganger. You're gonna get away, probably, because nobody else can run 500 movement speed right now. The only hero that can kind of counter this is Open Wounds, I guess, to slow you, or if Earthshaker gets like tons of chain stuns, but he doesn't even have good stuns. Not that you necessarily know that, but he's busy, right? If you push this wave right now and your team is fighting somewhere else, they won't even TP to the tower. You could literally be pushing this creep wave, getting all these creeps faster than you would get in the jungle, and you would start hitting this tier 2 tower, and the faster you kill the tier 2 tower, the better for your team. Instead, you're jungling. Makes a huge difference. Or you could be farming in these places, and you might have been able to help in that Earthshaker kill. And then you can come down and pressure spec. And you are coming to pressure spec. That's great. This should definitely be happening. You pop Drum. You're going in. As you can tell now, you're like, wow, this is the easiest kill ever. I maybe should have done this earlier. If he lives here, that would be really bad for you guys. Okay, good. You're going to find him. Alright, and you kill him. And that's great. You guys definitely needed to pressure him. And now you're like, hey, I have a Drum and a Boots of Travel, and I'm insanely farmed. Game's, like, pretty much over at this point, right? Like, you're absolutely wrecking. God damn it, I hate Windows 10. I think that was based on my cell phone, though. Alright, what just happened? You just got wrecked. What happened? Alright, Kunkka's coming in. Lifestealer's taking damage. He jumps in on the Warlock Golem, and Invoker's showing up is what's happening, it looks like. Looks like Ogre's gonna die here. Oh, that's what you messed up. Okay. You messed up really bad there. You didn't doppelgang at the right time, basically. You doppelganged right after the tornado ended, rather than when the EMP was going to go off. So because of that, you're going to take an extra bunch of pure damage. By the way, this is pure damage. It always goes off at the same time. It's always 2.9 seconds now. And you took 50% of 325, which is like over 150. You took about 150 pure damage that you didn't need to. And the Lifestealer got away. So I think you kind of panicked here. If you didn't panic here, that would have been an easy double kill, I think. Especially with the boat buff, you're running faster. Alright, you could have... Yeah, you didn't even doppelgang left. You doppelganged right on top of where you were. You could have doppelgang left and chased the Lifestealer and killed him, but you didn't. And he's by far the most farmed hero on their team, so you definitely 100% missed that kill. You should have had that kill. Still went pretty good for you guys, and you didn't die, which is great. But I think you could have definitely killed that Lifestealer. And then you went to drain your mana, and you would have had enough to chase him, 100%. So that was probably Spectre trying to kill you, but he wasn't going to be able to, since you're really farmed. Alright, again, same thing. You're moving into your jungle to farm. Instead, you can move into their jungle to farm, and then you don't have to use your Boots of Travel to gank that lane. You can just poke in or out. The place that you need to pressure to stop a Spectre is his jungle. Especially if he's rushing Radiance ultra fast. Well, he's top for some stupid reason, but his safest place is here and in his jungle. So you should pressure that by pushing out his wave constantly, by taking this tower. This tower's got very low, by the way, and pressuring his jungle. If you farm this part of the map, he shouldn't feel comfortable going over here, basically. Places you farm as a carry is ultra important, because if you have a gold advantage, you can push that into advantage. Camp to camp, by the way, you should use Quelling Blade on this tree to get from this camp to this camp faster rather than walking around. Increases your efficiency by just a little bit, might save you 2 or 3 seconds, something like that. A little bit of a fight going on. Do they have, please tell me they have dust. They actually don't have dust. That's unfortunate. You can also hold Dust, by the way. Especially with your BOTs, you definitely have an open item slot. So having something like that, I think, would be worth it. Clearing jungle camps. Where's Spectre? He's just doing nothing because he doesn't have a boots yet, so he doesn't feel safe. Good. You probably should doppelgang, I think, into these because your mana pool is really high due to having Drum and your Robe of the Magi. I think also I think I maybe wouldn't have gotten the Robe here. I probably would go Blade first in most cases. Just because you need agility more than you need more mana. You've already got 700 mana, you know. It's like some fights are happening. Let's see the start of that, see if you should have come. Alright. See how it started. I don't think you're watching this. Let's check out your hero perspective. Doesn't look like you're watching the fight, and you need to be. If there's multiple heroes on the map, like if there's enemy heroes near your allied heroes on the map, God, I wish that wouldn't move so much. It's like hard to. So looks like the fight's starting. They're gonna try to kill Lifestealer. Jumps in this guy. Big Echo Slam. You maybe could have TP'd here. Oh, this is really good. That was really nicely done by the Kunkka. But instead you're farming, you know? Alright, you should kill this guy instantly. As soon as you see this guy, I would drum and go. Alright, you lost your opportunity. As soon as you saw that guy, you drum and go after him. 100%. 100%. Easy kill. Or at least you force him to TP. Like, you've got Boots of Travel, Drum of Endurance, you're level 11, this guy's level 9. He's got actually no boots. He literally has no items. His net worth of 4,300. Let's count up this guy's net worth. This is a 500 gold item. This is about a 450 gold item, so we're about 950 here. He's got a Quelling Blade, which we're just not going to count because it doesn't do anything against you. And he's got a Fairy Fire. This guy has 900 gold worth of items in his inventory, and you're not choosing him to chase. You're not choosing to chase him down with 6,260. Well, more like 6,000 gold inventory. You have like 6 times the items that this guy has, and you're choosing not to chase him. You run a full 120 movement speed more than this guy. 100% dead. You pop Drum. You're going to increase your movement speed by like 13, so you're going to go up to like 450, 460 movement speed. You're going to run twice as fast as him. You hit almost twice as hard, plus you can spawn illusions, plus you can throw down a Spirit Lance. Yeah, he can dagger into the trees, but he doesn't have a blink, he doesn't have a TP. Like, this is the easiest kill ever. If you don't click on him, I'm going to be very disappointed with you. But based on the fact that you're last hitting well, I'm going to assume that you're a smart player. It's very clear that you're good at last hitting, but you're just not seeing the opportunities and you're not taking those advantages. Alright, so let's go to player perspective here. You gotta look at his items and say, hey, it's a Spectre. Alright, there's Spectre. You try to cast on him. I'm not 100% if you clicked on him or not, because I don't think it shows in player perspective, so we won't be able to prove that. But that was 100% a kill. As soon as you saw him there, you drum after him, you Spirit Lance him, you chase him down, you right click him until he dies. Or at least force him to dagger somewhere else. Instead, what's gonna happen? He's gonna possibly go somewhere else, maybe get a kill. He actually ends up going bottom, which is going to be safer for him. So maybe he would have done that anyways, but you could have forced out that haunt in a bad way. Or you could have forced him to haunt when he only had half HP, for example. Or you could have just, like, if Mirana died there, that's entirely your fault, basically. Like, you've got all these last hits, but you're not pressuring the map well. You're not using your gold advantage to get your team more gold advantage. You have to do that when you're playing a carry. Invoker's coming. Are you scared of Invoker? I wouldn't be scared of Invoker. The worst thing this Invoker can do to you, by the way, he has no farm, but you obviously don't know that, but you could look at his items and say, hey, Invoker has a Phase Boots and not even a Drum yet and a Wand, and that's it. And I've got Boots of Travel, Drum of Endurance, I'm a freaking Phantom Lancer, he went Quas Wex, so really the only way he hurts me bad is if he EMPs you. He's going to be able to Tornado you, no problem. But you should be able to time your Doppelganger to dodge the EMP. You've got a 1 second window there. As long as you dodge the EMP while also dodging the Cold Snap, then you're set. Even if he does Cold Snap you with EMP and gets the EMP off on you, you're probably still not dead because your mana pool is so high that you actually just can't die. What I would have done there, seeing him coming, I would have walked over to this high cliff right there, and I would have just waited for him. And I would have started by slapping him in the face and be like, hey, what's up, man? I'm here. He didn't end up going there, but the fact that you got scared, I think was the wrong thing. Alright, you're TPing here on the Spec. This is great. You're going to get a kill. Okay, great. You did something to pressure an enemy carry. That's good. But that was the first time, really. And there should have been more times than that, I think. So, speeding things up. You've almost got Diffusal Blade. Your farm is still really fast. For your MMR bracket, your farm is incredibly fast. But it should have been faster. And you should have been pressuring your opponents a little faster. Also, this skill build, Maximum Phantom Rush, it's seen as not good by pro players. In most cases, what they'll actually do is they'll get stats instead of for Phantom Rush. In some cases, I don't agree with this, but in most cases, it's just a necessity. When you're playing against really good people and they're good at ganking, in a lot of cases, you just simply need that HP more than you need the lower Phantom Rush cooldown. But at lower MMRs, if you feel way ahead of your opponents, you can probably get away with this. In most cases, you get stat levels if you feel like you're close to your opponents. If your opponents are close to being able to kill you, otherwise you would, you can go Phantom Rush, I'm thinking. You definitely should have defended this tower. Let's take a look at how this push happened. You're in the creep wave, your HP is not super high, totally get it. We're going to pause the game. They're pushing mid, mid's at literally 50% HP, by the way, and you didn't TP, you went to the jungle. You easily could have done this. TP to the creep wave, show up here, lance the lifestealer if he wants to chase you, don't let him get within open wounds range. If he gets within open wounds range, use doppelganger to get away, because it should remove the slow debuff, I'm pretty sure. Instead, what you did is you went to jungle. These guys are just AFK attacking a tower, and the tower goes away. And boom, you lose your most important tower on the map. This is the most important tower for both teams, is the mid tower. Because it's the closest location to anywhere on the map. Like, it's on average, it's closer to everything, right? So anytime somebody needs a TP, they're going to be closer to you. But you guys just let them get this tower. So this is your next mistake. And this is more of like this is a mistake that happens all the way up until like 5k players, basically. Is that you don't defend towers. You need to defend towers. Not only do they get a TP advantage, but they also get a gold advantage. So despite you guys winning by a shitload of gold, you just gave them like 1,000. You just lost your lead by about 1,000 gold. And you're letting Lifestealer get farther ahead. This guy just AFK jungled and you're letting him out farm you. Instead, what should have happened is you should shift into their safe lane a lot faster so you can pressure them. And again, you should probably be holding onto a dust this whole game. Because there is an invoker, and he will be going invisible sometimes when you try to kill him. And you have space for it. You could be carrying a dust. Your HP is also so low right now that you won't be able to fight if there is a fight. So I kind of feel like you should have gone back to heal, because there's actually no way that you can contribute right now. And especially because you have Diffusal Blade, you should be ready to rumble. So you go back, see what you're doing here. And back to farming again. You're walking back to farm. What I would do right now is I would TP here, I'd push this wave. And then I would kill this creep wave. And then I'd pressure this tower a little bit. I'd auto attack it, you know? If they don't TP, I'm going to take it. Just like what they did to you. If you don't push it, it's never going to go for free. You have to force errors on your opponents. So instead you're walking back to base and saying, that's fine, I'll TP later. What you should do instantly is TP bottom. Farm this creep wave. Push this creep wave out. If they come to defend this and you say, okay, that's fine, you back up, you farm this camp, then you farm this camp, then you farm this camp. And then if the wave pushes out again, if there's still somebody there, you walk behind him, you try to kill him. And if it doesn't work, that's fine. You push the creep wave again, you push the creep wave again, they TP to the tower again, or defend it again. And then you kill this creep wave, this creep wave, this creep wave. You just do this cyclical. And what this does for your opponents is they basically say, okay, this is what we can farm. We can farm mid because we have a tower there. By the way, you should still have your tower here. And then they say, well, we can kind of farm top, but it's a little scary. And then they say, well, we can farm this camp. As you can see, there's 3 freaking heroes here right now. And we can kind of farm this camp, but going over here is dangerous. And you guys even have the wards for it. You're going to see if they come into the jungle. So you can easily kill them there. But instead what you do is you go to the jungle to farm. The person that should be farming your jungle it's probably nobody. It's just better if you farm theirs. It's okay if your jungle is there and nobody's farming it. If nobody farms it, that means you're going even. So if you farm their jungle and nobody farms your jungle, that means you're going positive. You're gaining more resources than your opponents. But you're not farming in a place that allows pressure on your opponents and gives you easy opportunities to get kills. Farming in the enemy jungle is by far the most important thing to do if you are an ultra farmed carry that has gank potential. An ultra farmed carry that has gank potential that can pressure opponents. If you're playing against like a Storm Spirit that's really farmed with an Orchid, then you can't really farm here and the jungle as effectively. It's scary. But if you're the most farmed hero on the map and you're not scared of anything, and you shouldn't be scared of anything in this game, the only thing you should be scared of is Blink Echo Slams. He's killed Mirana, by the way. This is the only hero you should be scared of, is Blink Echo Slams. If that's the case, and by the way, if you did better in the laning stage, he wouldn't even have a Blink, or he'd be so under-leveled that you wouldn't actually be worried about him anymore. And then you'd be at a point where the game just ends, because you just kill everybody that comes to mess with you. You would have killed Spectre like 2 or 3 times. He would actually have 7 deaths instead of 5. Something like that. And you'd be in an even better place. TP to the top lane because there's almost a gank. And again, you're relying on your allies too much. You're relying on your allies to set up kills for you, when you could also be setting up kills for your allies. It shouldn't just be Kunkka's job to get kills. You're shifting over, which is good. There's a haunt. I would maybe use Drum and Chase here. Oh, never mind. With Lifesteal, this is dangerous. Should Doppelgang for sure. That removes the open wounds, and as soon as you drain his mana, you're set. I think it's good that you ran away a little bit. Don't forget you can also use Diffusal Blade to remove open wounds from yourself. That's another solution you have. Lifestealer naturally did go for Maelstrom. Should be coming back. Oh, that was a really good Torrent. You get a kill, that's great. I think you're playing every fight pretty well, but you're not seeing opportunities always. You Doppelganged here. You're looking for more kills. I think this is really good. Just kill the Warlock Golem is probably what... Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot this guy was here. Alright, and now he dies. Should just lance him and it's over. Okay, just lance him. Alright, you made that a little harder than it had to be. Draining his mana is really important, and you did that. His mana is drained, but at this stage, you gotta lance him. It lowers his movement speed, it does damage. Instead, you just auto-attacked him, and you Doppelganged. Like, it worked, but you could have had a little bit more HP. And another thing, if you have maxed out Phantom Rush, when you spawn Doppelgang illusions, you need to send them on somebody, in my opinion. And that's because you have Diffusal Blade, which lowers mana by 25. I'm sorry, 12 mana. Oh, that's from range. 25 mana per hit. And they're going to surge every 4 seconds, so they can chase people down really easily. So your goal every single fight should be draining Lifestealer's mana so that he can't enrage and open wounds and infest. You'll counter him there. And the other important thing, maybe drain mana from Earthshaker. I would say those are the two most important heroes to drain mana from. Because if you drain their mana entirely, the fight's kind of over for them. He's got a slow ring, so maybe not so much Earthshaker, but you don't really want your illusions to be near you in most cases. If you're at this stage in the game with Phantom Lancer, you need to abuse your gold gain. And you have a lot of gold gain this game, and you need to use it to send your illusions on other people until you're tanky enough to straight up fight them. As we just saw, Lifestealer's pretty good at fighting you right now. He does a lot of damage. He does way more damage than you do to a single target. He's about to get a Desolator. So it's a little scary. You could have played that fight moderately better, but it was still pretty good, is how I would describe it. You're also picking up a Helm of the Dominator. I don't like this build personally, and in fact, your HP is to a point right now where it's not amazing. I think the better item that you could have picked up instantly is something that's HP. Either get a Scotty or a Heart. In this game, I would have definitely opted for a Scotty, I think, over a Heart. And the reason for that is because you're going to have to be competitive against two different carries. And to do that, you need an item that continues to scale in terms of damage. Scotty is better for that than Heart is. Heart literally just increases your HP and helps your illusions survive longer. And also, if you disengage, then you'll be back up to full HP faster. That part is really good, and in a lot of cases, I'm kind of torn by buying Heart. But I think if you're against a Lifestealer and a Spectre, you need to make sure that you're always way stronger than them in a 1v1. So I would have bought Scotty here, not a Helm of the Dominator. Yes, you need lifesteal, but you can get health by not tanking creeps ever and by going back to heal once in a while. And I think that's alright. Not to mention the fact that by spending 2,000 gold on Helm of the Dominator, or 1,800 or whatever it costs, by spending 1,800 on Helm of the Dominator, this didn't increase your HP at all. It only gave you 5 armor and some lifesteal. Yeah, it's going to make you jungle a little bit faster, but it doesn't increase your HP. And you went into extra levels of Phantom Rush, which normally is a decision that's questionable, especially on the pro scene. Nobody does this. Almost never does any pro max out Phantom Rush, and they do that for a reason. It's because instead they could have 6 to all stats, which is 6 damage, which is like 100 mana, and that also gives you 19 times 6 HP, which is, it's basically like 120. 114 is the max, so it gives you 114 extra HP. Not to mention it also gives you 1 armor. So is it better to have 3 Phantom Rush levels, or is it better to have 114 HP and 1 armor? It's probably better to have the HP in most cases, but what I'm basically trying to point out is that you're delaying your HP already, and your HP is, despite compared to your farm level, your HP is not good, is how I would describe it. So you should definitely have gone into an HP item. You should spend that 2,000 gold on getting an Ultimate Orb, 100%, not getting this Helm of Ironwell. The Helm is the wrong choice here. It's the easiest kill ever. That guy is really not a good Spectre. So you got Bounty Rune now. Found a hero. Hey, it would be great to have Dust right now. You actually could just kill him if you had Dust, but you're not carrying Dust. Carries should sometimes have Dust, 100%. I don't know where you're running right now. I don't know why you're running over to the Ancients. I would have gone to the small camp, push this wave, this camp, this wave again, something like that. Instead, you spent 10 seconds running here. Basically, your farming patterns at the late stages of the game are now going to become very poor. Your farming is not going to be good at this stage. Like, you're getting items. You're doing good there, but oh, you almost TP'd somewhere, but you canceled. Again, the only time you're TPing is when you see a fight coming. And that's what BOTs is for. But the problem is that at these low MMRs, you can't expect your opponents to do that, to initiate fights as often as they should or as correctly as they should.
Radiant's middle
So
tower is
you're
under
doing
attack.
such inefficient things. Let's go over what you just did in the last minute. Okay, so you teleported here. You walked over here, you killed Spectre, that was fine. Then you walked over here, you killed a large camp. And then, rather than walking here to continue farming, you walked all the way to the Ancients, you killed the Ancients. And then you walked all the way to your jungle to farm your jungle. Instead, what you could have done is farmed 3 neutral camps, pushed 2 creep waves, pressured the tower. Again, this tower still hasn't taken damage in 10-15 minutes. This is basically the biggest issue with low MMR players. This is by far the most frustrating thing that I encounter when I play with lower MMR stacks. It's that people don't push waves enough. They don't pressure towers enough. Towers are never pressured. And if towers don't get pressured enough, it makes the game way harder than it has to be. If he pressures this wave twice, this tower takes 200 HP of damage. If he does it again, it takes another 200 HP of damage. Not to mention it, again, requires people to rotate. But you should almost always be pushing waves if you can. It doesn't matter if it's a little scary. You're at level 15 hero, you're the most farmed hero in the game. And instead you farmed ancient camps. And then you passed that camp. Okay, you did kill him, sorry. But you killed it a little bit late. You could have walked to it slightly faster. And then you walked over and you said, oh, this camp's actually dead. So now you walk all the way around here. And now you're like, oh, I guess I'll farm this medium camp. And then what are you doing now? You're going to walk across the map again to farm? Come on, man. Camp to camp to camp. That's how to do it fast. Walking across the map to go do Rosh now. Like, this could have been done earlier, you know? Or you could organize with your team better. Or rather than TPing, you could teleport here, walk to here, and doppelgang into the Rosh pit. That would have been faster as well. You could have killed like 2 camps. You could at least kill this extra Alpha Wolf camp, and then teleport and doppelgang in the same time that took for you to walk across the map. Already more inefficientness, more inefficiency. So you're just, what you're basically doing is you're just decreasing your potential of gold gain. You've got the last hitting and the laning down completely. You've got that. The only thing you messed up was the pulling stuff. That's it. And the maximizing farm and the pushing. That's it. The only thing you're not doing now is you're being really inefficient with how you farm camps after that. You need to look at the map and say there's 5 neutral camps. I need to farm these as fast as possible. So I'm going to go from the first one that's closest to me to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Stacking whenever the camps respawn. That's it. But instead, you've farmed a total of like 5 camps in 3 minutes or something like that. Plus help with Rosh. It's just not good enough. It has so much more potential, basically, for you being able to farm. So now you're pushing the wave, which is all great. This is good. This is a good push. Shifting over here and farming this is good. It's going to be gone, obviously. But if this was there, that would be great. Now you're TPing the bot lane to pushing. Again, your team is pushing. That's great. You're showing up. But this tower could have been killed just by you by yourself. Like, that's it. By yourself. Simply by yourself. Looks like you're going for a Manta style after the Helm of the Dominator. This is an okay choice as well if you do want to go Manta. I think it's a mistake against an Earthshaker, though. You should be more worried about your survivability. Manta, in some ways, just makes it worse. Against the Lifestealer, Manta's arguably very good. Because it's going to force him to not necessarily hit you directly. You're pushing waves again, that's good. Your teammates are nearby, so I guess you feel confident. But honestly, your gold advantage was so much this game that you probably could have gotten away with just solo pushing all the time. So, like, I feel like the only reason you're pushing right now is because you have an Aegis. That's it. That's the only reason you're pushing. But you don't have to only do light pressure on lanes with Aegis. Yeah, you only want to hardcore engage in 5-on-5s during pushes with Aegis, but during simple pushes, you can definitely just... You can do a little bit of lane pressure. That's all it takes. It's just a little bit.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Alright, you're back in the jungle. High ground, which is fine, no big deal. Doppelganger down. I would, rather than going to where you're... Okay, you're going up here. That's good. I like that. Yeah, I think that's fine. Going high ground against an Earthshaker is not very safe, even with Aegis. I think it's fine to just farm now. It's like your team is going to be taking a fight here. Or getting fought, that is. That guy's 100% dead. I think the only reason this game is hard is because Lifestealer has a lot of items. That's pretty much it. Also, this clearly wasn't a very good fight for your team. Well, JK. Killing Lifestealer is big. He missed his hit. Looks like you ran for this, which is relatively good. faster than him. It's like he lives. I mean, I can maybe criticize the fact that you TP top. It was good that you pushed it, but when you TP'd, what it looked like to me was that you should just farm neutral camps, for example. But because they saw you TP top, then they knew that they could take a fight without you, which is why they took a fight. And arguably, that was good for them. I think it ultimately led to your advantage, because you guys killed almost all their heroes, but... Again, Quelling... Oh, you don't have Quelling Blade anymore, sorry. Never mind. And in which case, using Doppelganger is good. You're kind of just, like, being ADD about your farm patterns, is pretty much what it seems like. You'll see a camp, and you'll go kill it, and then you'll walk away and kill another camp. What did you just sell here? Oh, your Ring of Akala, okay. And that was for your Yasha? Oh, Full Manta, okay. I'm totally into that. Another thing you could do is Helm of the Dominator. You could always control a creep and micro to stack Ancients, something like that. Wouldn't be terrible. See, this is basically... What you're doing now is perfect. You're going from camp to camp and you're farming them in time. You should pull these back so this camp respawns, but you didn't. But what you just did in the last minute, that's fine. That's what you should be doing constantly. Go from camp to camp. I probably would have gone back and done the opposite, done all 5 again, and look for a TP. Instead, what you did is you cleared all the camps, you didn't relook at the map, you didn't check the time, and you went somewhere else, because I'm guessing you assumed there wasn't a farm there. But in this meantime, you could constantly be getting last hits. If are you guys smoking or something? Alright, looks like you guys were talking about a smoke. So I guess this kind of makes sense. This is fine then, that you did this. Kunkka's waiting bottom.
You get nothing.
I don't think you're gonna get this kill. Let's see. Oh, he got the arrow? Alright, you should definitely dive this. Oh, that was a huge echo. Well, that was just really nicely done by the Earthshaker. It's a really big save. Oh, you're gonna die too. That was just really, really nicely done. I think you did react a little bit late. Let's go back here. See how you initiated. So, arrow comes in. Really good arrow hits. 1,000, 1,000. I also would have probably doppelganged to the high ground. Looks like you messed up your charge. I literally only took like 50 damage and he would have died. It's a really good dunk. Although you could also argue maybe doing a doppelganger in was the bad way because you were going to get echoed. But at the very least I would have Spirit Lanced him, and I don't think you did that. You should definitely lance on the way in. Yeah, you didn't even lance on the way in. You should have lanced. If you would have lanced, he actually would have just died, by the way. 100%. There's no reason not to put this on cooldown instantly. It's 250 magic damage. It's not amazing, but it does a pretty significant amount. As you're approaching 100%, you Spirit Lance in, you nuke him with that, he dies. The fight completely changes, because you guys would have gotten levels for that and experience. And then you getting punished afterwards wouldn't have been as painful. He pops out eventually. Like, you were still going to die, by all means, but... And maybe then not even 100%, but that was an amazing fight for them. They actually got 4 heroes for nothing. Looks like it's going to be 5. Yeah, this guy's 100% dead. No way he lives. So you guys lost 5 for nothing there. Probably still was going to be bad. Not really the hero you want to focus on, but you know how you would have lived is if you didn't have a Helm of the Dominator or you didn't have a Manta style. Neither of these items give you very much survivability. The Manta gives you 10 strength, that's 190 HP. You could have spent all this gold on a Scotty instead, which would have given you like 750 HP total. Instead you have 10 strength, 190. These could be Scotties. It's a huge difference. You easily would have lived. Maybe not easily, but you would have lived if you went a better item build. Your late game item build wasn't good. I just don't like this Helm of the Dominator pickup. It's just not good. Almost no Phantom Lancer goes that build. You either needed a Heart or a Scotty, 100%. You would have lived there if you had those items. So back to farming. Looking fine, killing creeps. I didn't see you get that many of those last hits, but it's okay. Chasing the old spec again. Super easy kill. Keep chasing, all good. Got a lifesteal over here. He should TP, but he's gonna be late, I think. Alright, he got him. Oh, he got the... I'm sorry, he got the other guy. Good defusal blade, but again, use Spirit Lance, damn it. Use it. Cast it at the start. It's 7-second cooldown. You want to cast it as often as possible. Push waves. Looks like you're going mid now. I remember based on the items that you had late game, it was a butterfly. And I think butterfly is again the wrong choice. It's pretty good. It's good against Lifestealer, but it doesn't help you against Magic Nukes, doesn't help you against Echo Slam. It's definitely the wrong choice. I'd go either Scotty or Heart still. I think the Manta was good in a normal game, but against an Earthshaker you need raw HP. Like, look at this damage. Like, you just die. You just get blown up, man. Fatal Bonds plus that. I'm sure his damage dealt is going to be ridiculous. It is, okay. This would be a good time to X. Yep, perfect. Yeah, this is... If he was going to hit somebody there, he needed to hit the spec. If he hit the spec, you guys could have killed the spec. Oh, okay, he's got him. Okay. What is he doing? This guy's... Oh, that was dumb. That was quite dumb. Alright, so you're going Butterfly, again, wrong choice. You don't need armor and evasion, you need HP. You could use a BKB. Those would all be better than a Butterfly. But Helm of the Dominator is definitely not the item. It's just... I totally get it, man. It lets you keep farming, but... Once you get like a Heart or a Scotty... Alright, that's the other thing. Like, if you bought a Heart, you don't need Lifesteal. Because your HP is always going to be full against creeps anyways. That's it. Like, you don't need the lifesteal. If you get a Scotty, your HP might not always be full. But by increasing your strength by 25, it does give you regen. I think it's like... I can't remember how much it is. I think it's like... I think of Reaver, aka 25 strength, gives you 0.25 HP per seconds or something. It's not good. Every 4 seconds you get an HP. It's not amazing, but it's something. But those are certainly better than a Helm of the Dominator. That was a super good fissure. TP'd here, you're pushing. Literally just need HP. Helm of the Dominator plus Manta is not the choice. What you should also be doing, by the way, is you should be using Manta sometimes and sending the illusions down a lane to push it. But you're also not doing that. You're basically just not using your Manta at all. In any way, you're not using it correctly. It's not just a teamfight item, it's also a push farm item. Killing this guy is going to win you guys the game, I think. Yeah, he can't buy back, so... Oh, whoa, why are you guys going back? You could just push bottom. I don't completely agree with this one. Alright, use Manta there to push. That was good. Taking Roche. Should be all good. Got Aegis. Means you can go high ground now. Got a Bloodlust too. Push the wave out. All good. I maybe would have farmed left there, but I think it's fine. TP's top to go push that wave, which I think is fine to stop that split push potential. Oh, this guy might die. Can't TP because he went top, but that's fine. I don't think he really made mistakes.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So Kunko's has to go back. Yeah, I would definitely send illusions here to pressure on that. I would maybe try to trick them to echo it or something, but pushing that's fine. Gain your farming. I think you're just waiting for your... Oh, you actually almost have it. You just need the Talisman of Evasion, which I think is purchased at the main store. Oh, it isn't. Okay, it's like it used to be, with the quarterstaff only being purchasable here, or not being purchasable there. So you've got it. You've got Butterfly. I would 100% for sure drop your Helm of the Dominator or your Drum for that. And in fact, I would probably rather keep the Drum than the Helm of the Dominator. I don't know if that's crazy or not, but I would, like, with Butterfly, you're going to be dodging creep attacks anyways, and you have so much armor that you probably don't take any damage from them anyways. You actually have 6 HP regen per second. Oh, that's because of this though, because it gives you 3. So you have 3 HP regen per second, plus you have a Butterfly. I don't think at this point in the game you need lifesteal at all. It's actually just completely unneeded. I think the only thing that's good about your lifesteal this game is that when you're fighting against lifestealer, it's kind of good for yourself, because it's going to help counteract the fact that he does so much damage. But I just don't think that matters, you know? As soon as this guy runs out of mana, you should be able to kite him endlessly. And he shouldn't be able to beat you. It's kind of how it should work. He does have good solutions with Mjolnir, but... And the butterfly is good against him. Looks like you guys are going to get a freebie kill. Give him the Spirit Lance. Give him the Spirit Lance. Doppelganger? Manta? Okay. And now he just dies. Like, he just takes too much damage. He's only got 8 armor. That's his mistake here, is that he's got Enrage, but he needs like an AC or an armor item to reduce your damage. So Butterfly is very good at doing that. You kill him that way. That's why you killed him. Because your base damage is 200 and your illusions are doing 16% of that, so 32 damage a hit, and your Manta illusions are doing 33, so 66 damage about. That's pretty good. You're hitting really hard now. But you still could be hitting basically this hard with a Scotty. Same thing.
Thanks to you.
Scotty, by the way, does just about as much for damage on your illusions as Butterfly does. Although it does give them evasion. One of the only differences. Alright, your Aegis is gone, unfortunately, which means that you're going to get Echo Slammed here. Alright, they definitely should have Echoed right there. That would have been the Echo. Alright, well that's down. Now you're just building. All good.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It's good. I would have Bloodlusted one of these. Alright. I don't like what you did there. I just would have let your illusions hit it. This is dangerous. Alright, so you got the tower. Throw your nukes whenever you can. I'm guessing you can't see. Doppelgang easy. Okay, good. Kill Invoker. Use your Spirit Lance! Just use it. Cast it. Just cast it, dude. If you can cast it, you cast it. Oh, this is not safe. That is not safe. You actually just kind of got your team killed, I think. At least the Ogre. Yeah, you actually got your team killed there. Oh yeah, this guy is also... Yeah, as soon as you guys got 4-band Fatal Bonded, that was really not safe. So we went for this guy. Oh man, this guy is like a... This guy like did some shit. This guy wrecked. So... Okay, it wasn't just you, but... Dude, Fatal Bonds is... What a skill. This game is being entirely held together by Earthshaker, Warlock, and Lifestealer, I think. That's basically it. So, again, you didn't have enough HP. If you had a Heart or a Scotty, you might have lived. Fighting the Golems is too scary, though. They're actually a really good counter against Peel. So what you guys should probably do instead is, as soon as he casts 4 Golems, you just get away. You can't really fight them. It's not safe. And you guys get wrecked about this, because of this. Not too surprising. So they bought a Rapier. Okay. That's crazy, man. I don't think his build is very good for Rapier. He should have gotten, I would have gotten Abyssal instead, I think. Would have been the better choice. And he really needs an AC. This guy's got no armor. He doesn't have any agility items, so... Alright, so you continue farming. I believe that you got a Satanic Nyx, which I absolutely think is the wrong choice. I mean, it's kind of okay super late in the game. Like, ultra late in the game in a 1v1 versus another hero, but... I'm just not a fan of the item. Like, this is the issue, right? When you look at the game, exactly how you played it right now with your items, getting a Satanic is not a terrible idea. But the reality is that you should never be in this position where you're like, yeah, buying a Satanic is a good idea. It's almost never the right decision. Like, you should have like 1 death tops this game. You should have like 4, 5, 6 more kills, but you don't have them. And that's because you didn't get the early game pressure that you should have. And now you're in a position where you're like, hey, this Lifestealer is equally as farmed as I am, despite him being AFK jungle and me having a huge advantage early. And now I have to buy a Satanic because I need to be able to beat him in a 1v1. But the reality is, yeah, Satanic's going to help you beat that guy in a 1v1, but if all of his other allies are there, Satanic probably isn't going to matter. They're still going to stun you. You're still going to get Fatal Bonded, which is pretty dangerous. Like, it's still not a great situation to be in. Satanic's also going to help you a lot versus the Spectre, but I just don't think it's a good choice. And it didn't have to be this way. If you just went Diffusal Blade straight into a Scotty or a Heart, they wouldn't have been able to touch you in those early mid-game fights. Like, not even touch you. It wouldn't have even been close. You should have been able to run around them all entirely. It would have been really easy. But first you get Manta, you're still susceptible to Echo Slam. Then you get Butterfly, you're still susceptible to Echo Slam. The only hero you had to worry about this game was a Spectre as farmed as you, or a Or a Earthshaker that's really farmed. Or maybe if the Lifestealer got ahead in your farm, but that shouldn't happen. So going to Roche. Okay, you got an Aegis. He's gonna hold your Helm on the Dominator. You'll probably fly out your Satanic now. So your items are very efficient. Luckily your HP is a lot higher now that you have this Reaver. But that's 500 HP. Your HP should have been 2k by the 25-minute mark. Easily. Easily by the 25-minute mark. Either a Scotty or a Heart. Either one would have been the better choice. Landed an arrow. See, like, look at the Specs build. Like, this guy's been playing awful all game. He's got no farm. He was like 0-5-1. He rushed it before Radiance before getting boots. And if you look at his items right now, compared to his net worth, his items are just so efficient. Like, he literally has a Treads. We'll ignore the Blade Mail. He basically has a Treads, a Heart, and a Radiance. And all of a sudden, his hero is like actually a really big threat. And if you look at your hero and how many items you have like, what, a full item over this guy? But it like, your hero is like that, not that much stronger. Like, what I'm basically saying is the way that you took your gold and you made it efficient in your item build, it wasn't very efficient. It could have been way more efficient. And all it took was going Diffusal Blade into Scotty into Manta style. Or Diffusal Blade Heart into Manta style. That's all you had to do, and you instantly would have been like unstoppable with the advantage you had. So your items were just a huge mistake. Not a huge mistake, they're just like a pretty big mistake. It makes a big difference, it really does. Spirit Lance, Spirit Lance, Spirit Lance, Spirit Lance, Spirit Lance, Spirit Lance, still in Spirit Lance. Always lead with Spirit Lance, you gotta slow your opponents so they can't get away from you. You're not doing that. Please God, Spirit Lance, there we go. Alright, you're gonna die here, it looks like. Alright, he does have Refresher actually. Wow, and this guy's so farmed. It looks like you're gonna lose this fight again. Looks like you're going for this guy. He will die. Gem on the ground. Now this is hard. You can't really fight into the golems. Yeah, you can't do this, man. Doppelgang, 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 Doppelgang. You should Doppelgang, remove Shadow Word. Okay. With the golems dead, you can fight again. Okay. This is good, you're weaving in and out pretty well. But you will lose the Spectre if you don't run. Whoa, okay. Well, his mana is clearly drained, but you got no lifesteal, no heart. This guy will die for sure. Maybe not. Okay. You're full healed. Diffusal Blade 2 as well, which is good. More agility. And you got a free jump. What did you dodge that? Oh, you just walked away from it, I see. Alright, Satanic. Alright, you got some HP. Again, Spirit Lance, please, God. Alright, using Diffusal Blade. Priority should always be Spirit Lance first, Diffusal Blade second. Got Satanic in 5. Oh, shit. You have to go back in, so you know you live. Yep, okay, good. Okay, you did it. Spirit Lancing IC. My god, dude. Fatal Bonds just wrecked you guys so much. It actually just wrecked you guys so much. Should probably go... I guess you can Satanic. Like, honestly, the Satanic's okay this game. It would be great. I think it would be honestly pretty good as a 6th item. If you went Diffusal Blade into Scotty, into Satanic, or maybe Manta into Satanic, or Butterfly into Satanic, I would have been like, that's a cool build. It works good against the Spectre, who's going to trade better than you. It's going to work better against the Lifestealer, who's going to trade better than you 1v1. But just it was just out of order. The Manta style was just not the right choice. Just really wasn't the right choice. The Manta needed to come later, I think. Ooh, lost her Satanic. Yeah, you got a Spirit Lance again. Spirit Lance. Please God, Spirit Lance! That's a Warlock, man. He's so farmed. Oh, he has the Rapier. This guy is freaking owning an Ownage Warlock, man. He's got 15 kills. It's Fatal Bondsman. This spell is good. Is he gonna get an Octarine now? Yeah, he's definitely buying an Octarine. There's no way this guy doesn't buy an Octarine core.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Top tower has fallen.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, this is the build, man. This puts his ulti on a 123 cooldown. Fatal Bonds is more than permanent. Alright, and looks like you're buying a BKB next, which is the right choice, I think. I think it's a good idea late game. BKB is an option over Satanic as well, by the way. You shouldn't really need the Satanic too badly if you just don't get stunned. Then you can kind of weave in and out of battle in the right ways. Using Manta to push, which is good. A little bit of fight. Please God, use Spirit Lance. Please God, use Spirit Lance. Alright, looks like you're trying to kill Lifestealer. My God. Yeah, honestly, at this stage, I think the only reason you guys are losing pretty much is because they just have such good teamfight heroes. And the way you guys initiated that fight just wasn't good. Well, you got this guy, I guess. Alright, you should be able to kill him. Alright, well this is your Kunkka mess, you know. 100% the Earthshaker should get comboed there. He did a lot of damage with the hit, but he should guarantee a Torrent hit. And then you guys should be killing this guy. What should have happened here, 100%, is Kunkka gets hit, he gets X'd. He gets hit, X'd, right away. For some reason he's not casting it. He casts Torrent randomly to try a skill shot, I don't know why. Press the wrong button. That should be a Torrent on Earthshaker right here, and then you guys just blow him up and kill him. Earthshaker dies, no Echo Slam. Instead, he gets to hide. Oh, he actually... Wow, he actually left. That was really dumb. Alright, next you guys are trying to kill Lifestealer. This guy should use his Ghost Scepter, so Lifestealer healed way more than he needed to. And then your the Warlock just gets to do the full pain. Really the pain. How did he get back so fast? That was just so much damage.
To the deeps with
I got the Earthshaker. It's like you have BKB, but you might be saving for buyback. You are dead for a long time. Looks like we got a little bit of pause. Item you definitely need. I think you could get more HP. I think Scotty wouldn't be bad. Keep in mind Scotty will be able to slow the Lifestealer through in range, so it's going to severely limit his DPS output and allow you to kite him a little easier. You can just hit him every like 2 seconds or something. You can obviously deal with your illusions pretty well, but it's either that or BKB, I think, is what you buy. You could also buy a Daedalus to let yourself and your illusions crit. You could also get an Abyssal Blade. That might be the better choice, because your hero will then be able to bash and stun, and you can use it to do like Phantom Rushes into stuns. Oh, was a pretty bad echo. It's like you're trying to kill it. Oh wow. Yeah, this game just got way harder for you guys. And again, Satanic doesn't do anything for you. So you don't have a BKB yet. You guys are just getting outplayed in fights, basically. I'm surprised that Earthshaker got something good out of that. So you buy back, which is appropriate. I think you can't really get more racks behind. Could again be using Spirit Lance. Like, look, dude, Spirit Lance is not just about the 250 damage. It's also the mana drain. Like, if you put an illusion on a guy, it's gonna drain him for 25 HP. If you cast Spirit Lance, your illusion's gonna hit him at least like 4 times. That's 100 mana, and that also does half of that. Well, it does full physical for that. So you're getting at least 100 physical damage for 4 mana drains, and you're draining him by 100 mana, and your illusion is attacking him 4 times. So it's like, there's literally no reason not to Spirit Lance. You cast that shit whenever you can, basically. Like right now, you just cast Spirit Lance. You just cast it. It's another illusion. Consistently, what you're doing is you're saving Spirit Lance until somebody has like no HP left. It's the slow. 40% slow. You just use it, you know? Alright, they basically just threw away their ability to push because they all left, but they didn't have Warlock Golem, so they probably called for back. Alright, looks like you guys are gonna get the rapier. Maybe. Rapier's still there, and Earthshaker will take it. This is actually not bad for him, because he can crit really hard with it. Oops. See what you're doing. 3,000 gold in the bank, back to farming a little bit. I think, yeah, going to push bottom is definitely the idea right now.
Radiant's bottom barracks
Yeah, just kill the creeps. Could kill this guy easy. Spirit Lance. So you always use Diffusal Blade first. You should be using it, always using Spirit Lance first. 1 buyback. He does have his stuff, so back in is smart.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Just farming the jungle rapidly, all good. TPing mid for the team fight. Spirit Lance, god damn it! You got 2 buttons to press and you only ever press one of them. The 40% slow for 3.25 seconds, it's not terrible. It's a little bad, slightly. Just slightly a bad spell. You guys should just be killing Earthshaker first, I think. This guy's has such good items now. He had like the worst game possible and he's still like quite farmed. Sending the illusions in for safety on the ranged barracks. I think that's a-okay. No arrow. Should be Spirit Lancing. Spirit Lance, Spirit Lance, Spirit Lance. Still no Spirit Lance. I am literally so tilted by you not using Spirit Lance. Well, you're killing people, but that costs you like 4 Diffusal Blade charges. Alright. Before we finish this dunk. Your Spirit Lance, as soon as the slow wears off, you use your Diffusal Blade. And then guess what? Your Spirit Lance is up again. You get to use 3 slows with the cost of 1 Diffusal Blade. And instead what you just did is slowed like 2 or 3 times with 3 Diffusal Blades. And now you can't Diffusal Blade anymore. Huge mistake. And you look dead. Oh, no, never mind, Satanic. Alright, your Satanic paying off. Good to know. Oh, I would've maybe finished off the Lifestealer. I guess it still worked out. Well, you can get the Rapier. Well, you get the Rapier. The Rapier, get the Rapier. God, please, Spirit Lance. God, please, Spirit Lance. Yeah, you can't pick up a Rapier without... God, you really should have picked up this Rapier, man. Alright, we've let them get the Rapier. Alright, looks like you guys are gonna win finally. Alright, you guys did it. Give me that scoreboard. Alright, I'm not going to get a scoreboard, it looks like. But we can look at the scoreboard here. Okay. Dismiss. So, to summarize, your last hitting's great, you're not lane pressuring enough, and you're making bad late game item decisions. I know late game item decisions are hard to do. You have to understand like what the strengths of your opponents are, how they counter you, in what ways do they counter you, in what ways can you pressure better. But the reality is that Phantom Lancer is a carry that overwhelms his opponents with lots of illusions and can generally get out of ganks. So that means that he counters people that are bad at disabling and locking down one person for long periods of time. He's bad against heroes that have a lot of AoE. Those are the two things he's bad against. So that means, but his strengths are also good against the things that he's bad against. So that's what I basically meant in this case. So the only person on their team that has a lot of AoE is Fatal Bonds, I guess. If you're Fatal Bonded with your other heroes, that's bad. If Spectre is way ahead of you, I guess, but Radiance isn't really that AoE heavy, so Spectre's not really that great against PL. Earthshaker's a hard counter to you, obviously, but an Invoker's a little bit, but not that much. So that's basically it. All you had to do was make sure that you survived against burst near like a solo focus fire from Earthshaker and Invoker, and you just instantly can't die anymore, unless you get like Fatal Bond comboed or something. That's the only way. So all you had to do is buy HP or a BKB at some stage and make sure that they didn't initiate on you, and instantly the game ends. But instead you bought a bunch of weird items. Like your last hitting was great in lane, but your efficiency, your pressure on opponents, and your late game items are all poor. Those are the things that you need to fix. All right, I know I've never made a replay coaching this long before, but for once I couldn't just ultra criticize the early farming stage. So I want to give props to Eminence here because for his MMR, his laning last hitting is really good compared to most players. So he's probably confused saying, I got more last hits than my opponents, why am I not winning? And all the reasons I explained are why. So luckily we could actually talk about, we could mostly ignore that early game stuff as problems and have it more be about how you chose to use your farm and what you bought in the late game and why it's wrong. Whereas in other games, that's by far the smallest issue. I guarantee that if this guy takes the principles that I just showed him and he integrates it into his gameplay, he's going to go up by 1,000 MMR. Guaranteed. So, but that's only because he has that base of being able to last hit creeps when nobody's around. So for all you 3K players out there, if you can teamfight just as well as this guy, and I have a feeling a lot of you are probably looking at this and being like, what the heck, this guy never uses Spirit Lance, he's obviously terrible. Okay, he doesn't use Spirit Lance ever, he needs to. But his ability to last hit was really high. He did that effectively. He just didn't have good farming patterns in mid-game. That's actually another really big thing that he needs to work on before he can hit 4K. He really needs to get his farming patterns down, and he needs to buy better items. Those two things, I think, are going to make him a guaranteed 4K player. So if you guys are in the 3K range, everything I just explained should at least get you to 4K if you're in 3K as a carry. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you guys do want to submit for a replay coaching, you can go to my website forums. I do these very rarely, so don't get your hopes up, but please submit every once in a while if you guys could. Even like 10 submissions a week by all of my fans would be plenty, and by fans I mean viewers, would be plenty for me to choose from in most cases when I do one of these. With that said, in terms of coaching, if you guys ever want to make sure that you get a replay coaching, you can pay for it, for example. I know I haven't announced this before, but I'm open to the idea is that if you guys want to submit me a replay and I do something like this, I make a video about it, but then I make it private, for example, and only send it to you. I can do something like that if you want. I would charge for a full video, assuming it's like 40 minutes to an hour. If you want me to go over it fully, I would charge $50. And obviously that would just be me by myself making a video and sending it to you afterwards. That'd be $50. You can send the replay to me at PayPal and include the match ID, and I would be able to make a video for that just for you and possibly share it if you wanted me to for $50, and you can send that to me on PayPal at purgegamers@gmail.com or purgegamers@gmail.com on PayPal. So that's for replay commentaries. So that said, I'm also offering coaching again. The first date that I have open is, let me take a look at the calendar, the 14th of March, Monday morning. That's US time. So I know a lot of you guys aren't going to be able to do these because you have jobs and stuff. I'm currently offering Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 hours each day in the mornings from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is how I'm offering it. If you guys want to sign up for that, you can go to coaching.purgegamers.com. You sign in with your Steam profile, and you have to sign up for a session, and it costs PayPal money. I'm currently charging $75 an hour for PayPal coaching, or for coaching. And the things that we can do for that is we can do replay commentaries, or replay analyzations like what I just did, but you'd obviously be there and I could explain it to you and you can ask questions. We can also do I coach you live in a game. We can look over a large variety of replays during that time period. Like, for example, if you only want to focus on your early game and you want to focus on your early game for like 6 replays, then you can buy an hour slot and we can look at all of those early games over the course of an hour, for example. So that's all the things that I'm offering currently. So that's a total of 4, 8, 12 hours a week that I'll be offering coaching. So if you guys want to sign up for that, you can. I might tweet about the coaching as well in the next couple days, but I also might not. Usually the coaching fills up pretty fast, and I'm 100% sure that it will be filled up. If you guys can't, no matter what, ever do 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday for American people, for example, that have regular jobs, then I could potentially open up some dates on the weekend in the mornings. But doing night times is probably out of the question for me most of the time. But if you guys just send me an email and ask about it, or tweets as well, either works, then we can talk about it and work something out. If you really can't do any of those schedules and you want to do something on the side that isn't on those points, then we can definitely work something out. Just let me know if it is absolutely inconvenient to your schedule. And the last thing that I'll say about that, if you guys want coaching from me, you should look at it as a luxury, as something that you want to spend money on. I know that $75 an hour is a lot of money, and the reality is that you should only spend that money if you have extra money to spend. If you guys want coaching from me because you want to become a pro player in 2 years or something like that, and you feel like this is your way out, or if you think that me coaching you is going to push you over the edge to make you be a pro, it's not going to do that. It might put you on a path that would eventually make you a pro, like 2 years down the future, if you're really individually talented and good at learning. But what I'm trying to say is don't spend money on coaching if you don't have very much money. It should be something that you are using to treat yourself if you have extra money. Okay? So I don't want to encourage you guys to in some ways throw your money away, if you guys understand. Getting somebody to teach you how to play Dota better is definitely, it's 100% a luxury. If you guys are individually talented enough, there's plenty of free resources that I've already made videos of, that tons of pro players have made videos of, that you can easily get, that will eventually make you a pro player if you're talented enough. So don't feel like paying me for coaching is the only way that you're going to get there. If you can't get there without my paid coaching to be a pro player, then you're probably most likely not going to be a pro player anyways. In fact, I can definitively say that if me coaching you is the only way you become a pro player, then you're never going to be a pro player. So I just wanted to say that disclaimer for anybody that wants to criticize about how much it costs, or that I'm trying to influence kids to pay me money, because I absolutely do not want to do that. I'm just saying, if you want coaching, it's a luxury. I will help you get better. I will point out your errors, and hopefully you can integrate those into your playstyles. Okay, with that said, thanks everybody for watching this super long video. Links down below to everything I talked about, whether that's PayPal for replay coaching or calendar coaching, all that stuff. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.